It's easy to identify, it grows all over the place, and it just happens to be a choice gourmet edible. In this video, I wanted to share with you some fun facts and hopefully answer some of your questions about one of my favorite mushrooms to find in the wild, the Shaggy Mane, otherwise known as Coprinus comatus. The Shaggy Mane is a very common wild mushroom that you can often find growing in parks, on lawns, at the sides of trails, or in disturbed soil. It is super easy to identify, and once you get a feel for it, it's instantly recognizable, making it a perfect species for beginners to try and identify. Of course, a little disclaimer, as with any mushroom, you need to be 100% sure of its identification if you plan on eating it or serving it to others. So what does it actually look like? The Shaggy Mane gets its name because the cap actually does have a shaggy appearance. Another common name is the lawyer's wig, and in fact the Latin name comatus is derived from coma, which means hair. When young, the fruiting body is cylindrical in shape and stands tall out of the ground, almost like a hairy, oblong egg on the end of a smooth, much thinner stalk. As it ages, the mushroom takes on a much different appearance. Species of the Coprinus genus are known as inky caps because of a special autodigestion feature where the fruiting body slowly degrades into a gooey black ink. This is known as deliquescing, which I might be saying that wrong, but it's one of those things that I've read and I've never actually heard anybody say. The mushroom has a good reason for this self-destruction. You see, when the fruiting body is young, the gills are really tightly packed together, which is not ideal for dispersing spores. This autodigestion of the cap starts from the bottom of the gills and works its way up, causing the cap to curl up, the gills to open, and the spores to be dispersed into the air. Some spores are also dropped to the ground with the ink. So really, this self-destruct mechanism, which looks really cool, is really just a mechanism for the Shaggy Mane to spread its spores. Now you might be wondering, where can I find this mushroom? The Shaggy Mane can often be found growing in rich soils and grass in the summer and fall. It also seems to like disturbed soils near trails and roads. So if you want to find this mushroom, keep your eyes open around golf courses, city parks, front lawns, and trail sides. It can grow singly, but it most often fruits in large groups. So if you find one, you're likely to find a whole bunch of them. As mentioned before, Shaggy Mane is considered a gourmet edible and is a favorite among mushroom hunters. Because of this auto-destruct mechanism, however, it's best when it's enjoyed young, long before the cap starts to separate and turn into ink. Even after harvesting, it's best if it's used right away, as it won't stay good for very long after harvest. Shaggy Mane can be preserved by dehydration, which is why you can sometimes find these mushrooms in dehydrated form at the supermarkets. Now, a lot of people think that you should never consume this mushroom with alcohol because of potential interactions with alcohol and the compounds that are in this mushroom that can cause serious illness. Now, although this is true for other Coprinus species, it's not necessarily true with Coprinus comatus or the Shaggy Mane. This confusion stems from the fact that the common inky cap, a different mushroom also known as Coprinus atramentarия, contains a compound called coprine, which interferes with the way that we metabolize alcohol. When coprine and alcohol are combined in your body, it can cause relatively severe symptoms like nausea, vomiting, headache, weakness, and more. It's really unpleasant. Now, coprine actually works in the same way as the commercial drug Antabuse, which is a drug that is used to treat severe alcohol dependence. Basically, it's like instantly getting a really bad hangover. The reaction can even occur if alcohol has been consumed within 2 or 3 days of eating the coprine-containing mushroom. Luckily, the Shaggy Mane does not contain coprine, but still, it may be worth it to play it safe and avoid alcohol if you plan on eating Shaggy Mane. Shaggy Mane is really distinct, but there may be some lookalikes that you should be aware of. Most importantly is a mushroom known as the vomiter, aka Chlorophyllum molybdentis. This mushroom causes severe gastrointestinal distress like vomiting and diarrhea and all sorts of other nasty stuff. It's actually the most commonly consumed poisonous mushroom in North America. It really doesn't look that much like a Shaggy Mane, but it does grow in similar areas like lawns and parks, so it's definitely worth knowing about. And it could be misidentified by first-timers. The main difference is how the cap opens up like a parasol and it doesn't turn inky. It also has a unique green spore print, which is a dead giveaway. As always with wild mushrooms, you want to be 100% sure of the mushroom's identification before you even think about consuming it. Shaggy Mane is a great mushroom to find in the wild, but you might also be wondering if it can be cultivated, and the answer is 100% yes. If you're interested, I did do a video on growing Shaggy Mane, which you can check out somewhere up here if you want to go watch that video. Now, Shaggy Mane is saprophytic and grows well on compost, but it can also grow on wood like many other gourmet mushrooms. In China, it's often grown in cooler temperatures on synthetic wood logs. The mushrooms are harvested, they're dried to prevent this autodigestion, and then they're sold in grocery stores. Now, whether you grow it or find it in the wild, Shaggy Mane is an interesting and delicious gourmet mushroom that's 100% worth learning about. I hope you learned something new today, and as always, if you have any questions, be sure to ask them in the comments below. Also, if you like this video and you want to see more content, weekly content on the magic of mushrooms, be sure to subscribe to this channel. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.